What's up, everybody? So there's a new report coming out that Sony's going to start not releasing their games on the PC, and I gotta admit, I think that's a very smart decision. Pretty soon, the PlayStation 5 is going to hit 100 million copies. So, GTA 6, Crimson Desert, and Wolverine have not released yet. All of those games I think are going to sell PS5 because there's just as many people on PlayStation 4 as there are on PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 currently is around 92.5 million units sold. So right now, considering I think this is the 5th year, they're averaging, depending on what they finish the year with, close to 20 million units sold a year. So even without GTA, Crimson Desert, Wolverine, they're going to sell probably be at, well, over that 100, and they'll probably be at like 105 million or something by the end of the year. But since GTA 6, Crimson Desert, Wolverine, Dawnwalker's coming out this year, a whole slew of games are coming out this year. And consider they're next gen only, or now current gen only, I think that's going to make people actually decide, hey, we have to upgrade to current gen consoles now. It's time. Because we can no longer wait for them to come to PS4 because now a lot of them are. Now, there are still some games coming to PS4 this year, but this is going to be like the last year of it. But GTA 6, Crimson Desert, Wolverine, I don't think is. So none of them are. So they have to upgrade their system. Also, the PlayStation 4 units sold are just north of 117 million. They're at 117.2 million to be exact. Sony's at 92. Sony, just the way their trajectory is going, they're probably going to be at 105 to 110 million by the end of the year, which means 2027 and 2028, consider they extending the life cycle of this system, means this system, if it keeps selling the way it does, assuming they can finally get the price to come back down, even if not, this system's going to outsell the PlayStation 4. And I never thought that was going to happen. The reason why I think this is a good decision, this reminds me of some of the decisions Sony was making during the PS3 era, during the back half, when they were really trying to save themselves from going under. And the smartest reason why, is because this keeps the games off of the next gen Xbox Steam hybrid console. Because the next gen Xbox is going to have Steam, so if PlayStation puts them on Steam, people on Xbox could play God of War games as soon as they come out. They could also play Horizon and everything else we have. It also keeps it off PC for just PC users, and it also keeps it off the Steam machine. So if you had the Steam machine and Sony was putting their God of Wars and whatever on Steam, then people are going to be like, hey, I have this Steam console. I now can play Steam games up here, but I can also play PlayStation 5 games up here. So eliminating that aspect of it forces the Xbox guys, the Steam PC guys, the Steam machine guys, if they want to play the God of Wars, the Horizons, the Killzones, the Resistances, etc., they have to come back to Sony. So it forces them to, hey, one, You gotta make a choice, especially next generation, like the PlayStation 6. The next PlayStation, Sony is reported that Sony is aiming for a $499 price point and a $599 price point. I'm guessing they're copying what they did with this generation with a digital only model and a disc drive model. So I have no problem with paying $600 for a disc version, because honestly, if that's what we got to do, and that system's supposed to be like 3 times more powerful than the Pro, and the Pro was like, what, 4 times more powerful than the standard PS5, which is crazy considering that there's only like 4 or 5 true next gen graphically games right now, and we're in year 5 of these consoles. It's good for Sony to make people buy their console, because it will force Microsoft to kind of fix their shit. Because while Sony's aiming for the $500 and the $600 price point, Microsoft, it's being rumored and tossed out there that that console is going to be $1,000 to $1,200. The Steam machine is supposed to be $1,000. If Sony is literally half their price, people will not be able to afford a PS6 and the next Xbox. So they're going to have to make that choice. And a parent at Christmas will be like, hey, all your friends now play on PlayStation. And now a bunch of your other friends who were Xbox can't afford an Xbox because it's like buying a PC. They're going PlayStation now. So we're going to buy you a PlayStation for Christmas and we're getting you an Xbox. And the sad thing is, I think that's actually going to happen. Because $1,200 is not something that a parent can fork over on Christmas. Because they got multiple kids, they got nieces, they got nephews, they got brothers, they got sisters. It's hard to drop $1,200 on a console. It's hard to drop $1,000 on a console. Hell, it's hard to drop $400 on a console during Christmas for one present. You're talking about picking up extra shifts, working overtime, stuff like that, just to make it, make it work. And then a lot of people get in debt during Christmas because, if you close early, so you might have got that overtime before Christmas to buy them gifts, but then you better have enough saved up for your rent and mortgage and stuff after, because during the week of, or maybe like the day of Christmas, maybe the day before, day after, something like that, maybe I'll close early. I worked in a distribution center for 5.5 years, and I was third shift, and a lot of times when we got there, we only had a couple hours worth of work to do, and then they send us home. Some people get a full shift, some people get like 2-3 hours. There have been times on Christmas that I got there and I was done in like 3 hours. So you got to take that into account too. But the fact that Sony is reportedly pulling away from PC to go back toward console exclusivity, I think is a massive plus, because it really seems like they're trying to drive that wedge between themselves and Microsoft to where the next gen, because right now there's a lot of people that have a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox. It's really like they're pushing the issue. You're going to pick one. Because let's say you get the PlayStation 5 first, the PlayStation 6 first, and it's $600. So with taxes, that's going to be close to like $680, just say $700. That's with no games, no extra controllers, no accessories. Odds are you get another game, you get another controller, maybe you get 2 games. All of a sudden, you're about $900. So what, next May, 5-6 months later, you really gonna feel like spending $1,200 on the console. So your taxes are what, gonna be like $150? So it's really like a $1,350 console. Then you're talking about 2 games and a controller, so that's basically like another $200. So now you're looking like $1,600 when you leave out with taxes and everything. Like, that's something you're gonna have to get down the line if they put that thing like 50% off, because, and then it's really gonna make a lot of people think, huh? A lot of my friends switched to PlayStation. A lot of people on the PlayStation 5 generation switched to PlayStation. Maybe it's time that I don't go back to Xbox, because I see more and more of my friends that didn't switch to PlayStation, they're now buying that PlayStation 6. So, now, Schreier did point out that Insomniac's Wolverine due out on the PS5 exclusively this September, which he says suggested may never come to PC. There are other games that may never come to PC. I think this is Sony pushing the issue that we don't like, and the employers and employees also at Microsoft did not like when the one CEO, who was supposed to become CEO, said, "We want you to play Xbox on everything." Not even being an Xbox. They were just really just looking at getting royalties from everything. They wanted royalties from everybody. They wanted royalties from games that were being sold on Sony's end. They wanted just, it sounded like they just kind of gave up on the console generation, which is sad, because they said if the next gen Xbox does not sell and is not profitable, it is the last one. So the next Xbox could very well be the last. And I fear that as someone who plays mostly PS5 and a little bit of PC. Because then those PlayStation Plus prices are going to get insane. Sony needs the yin to its yang. Sony needs a light towards dark, or dark towards light. Sony needs something to checks and balances are there for a reason. Nintendo sure as hell ain't it. They don't produce powerful consoles. They don't produce games really anymore. I mean, yeah, they got a handful of games that you can name, but then everything else up there, you don't really know what it is. But I'm glad to see this change coming back. It's about time. And I think this could be the very start of Sony fixing its mistakes in the past, learning from it, and taking this into the future. So, maybe Sony's making a comeback and going back to the old good days. I sure hope so. Anyway, this is Brian at GameSense checking out. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you do, I'll see you in the comments. Have a good night.